Right now, somewhere, someone has already figured you out, and they're using it. They know your next move before you make it. That is your whole problem. You think you're hard to read. You're not. You're an open book. Every reaction you give away is a key, and you hand them out freely. You lose arguments you should win. You lose deals you deserved. Notice that? It's not because you're weak. It's because you're easy to predict. The predictable man is a tool. Others pick him up when they need him. Then they set him back down, and he calls it loyalty. You give your full self to people who only studied you to use you. And the worst part, you taught them how. You showed them every pattern. Same temper, same yes, same flinch. They've memorized the entire script, so they win every time. And you wonder what's wrong with you. You just never learn to disappear, to become the one thing they cannot calculate, the variable in their equation. The unreadable man is never used. He is studied, feared, followed. Imagine walking into a room and no one knowing where you stand, no one able to bait you, no one able to bend you. That man doesn't beg for respect. Respect arrives before he speaks. Right now you are not that man, but you are about to become him. Everything you're about to hear will cost you the comfort of being known. Being known feels safe. It is the most dangerous thing you own. The people winning against you mastered this years ago. You're late, but late is not too late. Not for a man who decides tonight. Tonight you stop being the man everyone already finished reading. You feel it, don't you? The exhaustion of being so easy to handle. That exhaustion is your old self begging you not to change. Ignore it. The version of you that everyone controls dies in this video. What replaces him is colder, sharper, impossible to corner, impossible to predict. By the end, the people who studied you will have to start over, and this time, they won't be able to. Let's begin. Stay with me. First, let's be honest about something. You are not lazy. You never were. You work harder than the men who keep beating you. You know it. You show up. You keep your word. You do what you say. And still you watch others rise on charm, on timing, on nerve. It feels unfair. It is unfair. But here is the truth. Your pain is real. But you've blamed the wrong thing for it. You think you failed. You didn't. You were positioned to fail. The system around you rewards the readable. The readable are easy to manage. A predictable man can be scheduled, used, and replaced without friction. Your openness, the thing you were proud of, became the lever they pull. Every time you explained yourself, you gave them the map to you. Every time you reacted on cue, you confirmed their plan was working. They didn't outwork you, they out-observed you. That is the whole game. While you were being yourself, they were busy reading you. Honesty without strategy is just surrender with extra steps. Nobody told you this. They needed you not to know it. The men who win keep this knowledge guarded like a family inheritance. They smile while you bleed effort because your effort feeds them. This is not paranoia. This is pattern recognition, finally working in your favor. Once you see the pattern, you cannot unsee it. Good, don't try. Look back. Every betrayal followed the same predictable shape, yours. They knew you'd forgive. They knew you'd stay. They knew you'd explain. Predictability made you safe to harm. Unpredictability makes you expensive to touch. The goal is not to become cruel. The goal is to become uncatchable. You will still be kind, but your kindness will be a choice, not a habit. A chosen kindness is power. An automatic kindness is a leash. The world is not a meadow. It is a board, and boards have players. Until now, you were a piece. Tonight, you pick up the hand. Stop asking why they keep winning. Start studying how they think. Because the man who taught the world this game has a name. He wrote it down 500 years ago. They've been hiding it since. They call his name a warning. That's how you know it's the truth. Everything you were taught about being good was designed to keep you usable. Not good as in moral, good as in obedient, good as in convenient. Real virtue protects itself. A virtue that can be exploited just as bait. From tonight, your goodness gets armor. Your honesty gets a strategy. You keep your soul. You just stop leaving it on the table. The people who exploited you counted on you never reading this far. They were wrong. You're still here. And you're starting to understand. Understand this above all. They were never stronger, only less visible. Visibility is not strength. It is the surface they aim at. You've been standing in the light, wondering why you keep getting hit. Step back into shadow, and the hits stop finding you. That is the first shift. Everything else is built on it. And the man who built this foundation. Let me finally introduce you. His name is Niccolo Machiavelli. Speak it and watch people tense. 5 centuries dead, and they still treat his ideas as contraband. He served princes. He watched empires rise and rot from the inside. He was tortured, exiled, and still he refused to soften the truth. While others wrote how the world should be, he wrote how it is. That is why they fear him. Truth without comfort terrifies the comfortable. He understood that men are read, ranked, and managed by what they reveal. And he knew the rarest power belonged to the man no one could read. On exactly this, he left one line that should be carved into you. He wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few touch what you are." Read that again. Everyone sees the surface. Almost no one reaches the core. Your problem is simple. Your surface and your core are the same thing. You let the world touch the core for free. He says, never again. The surface is yours to design. The core is yours to guard. This is not lying, it is editing. Every powerful man is an editor of himself. He taught rulers to be foxes and lions. Cunning when needed, force when not. The fox sees the trap. The lion frightens the wolves. Be both. Most men are neither. They are sheep who learn to sound brave. Machiavelli wrote for the man willing to stop being a sheep. He doesn't ask if you are ready. He asks if you are tired enough. Tired of being known. Tired of being handled. Tired of being last. If you are, his lessons stop being theory. They become your weapons. I've taken his hardest truths and shaped them for the war you're in. Not the war of armies. The quiet war of who reads whom first. From here, every lesson sharpens you into someone harder to predict. Take them seriously. Repeat them. Let them rewire how you move. Some will sting. The truth that frees you usually does first. Stay through the sting. On the other side, no one moves you. Machiavelli opened the door. From here, you walk through it alone. So step through. Lesson 1. The first thing you must take back. Lesson 1. The mask is not a lie. The mask is mercy. You think showing everyone the real you is honesty. It is exposure. Here's the situation. You're upset, so your face tells the whole room. Within seconds, the sharpest person there knows exactly how to move you. Why does this happen? Because a visible emotion is a published instruction. Your nervous system leaks. Their eyes read the leak. They adjust instantly. The mask does not hide your feelings from you. Only from predators. You still feel everything. You simply stop announcing it to your enemies. Here's what you do today. Pick one emotion you always broadcast. Maybe it's anger. Maybe it's eagerness. Maybe it's hurt. Choose one. Next time it rises, hold it 3 seconds before your face moves. 3 seconds of stillness, and the predator loses the signal they needed. Do it daily, and stillness becomes your face's first language. Watch how differently people approach a man whose face stays still. They lean in. They wonder. They give ground without knowing why. That ground is power. You took it back without saying a word. The mask gave it to you. Wear it not to deceive, but to defend. Drop this in the comments. My face is mine to command. Lesson 2. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is a loaded weapon. You talk to fill space. You explain to be understood. Both leak power. Here's the situation. Someone challenges you, and you rush to justify yourself. The more you explain, the smaller you look. They feel it. So do you. Why? Because over-explaining signals you need their approval to feel safe. Need is visible. Visible need is the easiest thing in the world to exploit. The silent man, by contrast, seems to need nothing. That unsettles people. Here is what you do today. When challenged, answer in one short line. Then stop. Do not fill the silence that follows. Let it sit. The silence will feel unbearable to you. It is far worse for them. Whoever speaks first, to break the tension, just handed over the advantage. Most people cannot survive 10 seconds of being looked at in silence. You will become the man who can. That alone reorders every room. Silence also protects your plans. What you never say cannot be used. The loud man telegraphs his next 10 moves. The quiet man reveals none. Speak rarely, and your words start to land like verdicts, not noise. Guard your voice the way the rich guard their money. Spend it deliberately. From now on, silence works for you, while everyone else talks themselves smaller. Lesson 3. A clock is trusted because it never surprises. Be weather instead. Here's the situation. People know your routine to the minute. They plan around you. They know when you'll cave, when you'll show, when you'll fold. Always. Why does this make you weak? Because certainty about you removes your leverage. When people are certain how you'll respond, they stop respecting you. Respect lives in the gap between what they expect and what you do. Here is what you do today. Break one small pattern people rely on. Reply later than usual. Say no where you'd normally say yes. Show warmth where you'd normally be cold. Keep them slightly off balance. Not chaos, controlled variation. You decide the weather, they just brace for it. An unpredictable man cannot be scheduled, baited, or quietly worn down. He keeps a sliver of mystery, and mystery keeps him interesting and feared. The people who underestimated you built their plans on the old, fixed you, changed the pattern, and every plan built on you quietly collapses. Remember this. This knowledge is for protection, not destruction. You break patterns to stop being prey, not to start being a predator. Drop this in the comments. I am we other, not a schedule. Lesson 4. Never show your whole hand. Always keep one card hidden. Here's the situation. You're excited, so you tell people your full plan. Now they know your destination. So they decide whether to help or block. Why is this fatal? Because a known plan is a plan others can ruin. Announced goals invite interference. Quiet goals arrive before anyone can react. There's also pride at play. Telling everyone feels like progress. It isn't. Talking about the goal gives the same hit of pride as achieving it. So you feel finished and lose the hunger that would have finished it. Here is what you do today. Choose one goal and tell no one. Let your results speak when the work is already done and undeniable. The shock on their faces when you arrive finished is worth the silence. In negotiation, the hidden card is everything. Keep one option they don't see. The man with an unseen option is never desperate. Desperation loses every deal. Mystery about your next move is a wall they keep crashing into. Withholding is not deceit. It is keeping your power in your own hands. Give people enough to trust you, never enough to fully predict you. Keep the last card, and you keep the final word on your own life. Lesson 5. Do not correct every wrong assumption people make about you. Here's the situation. Someone underestimates you, and you rush to prove them wrong. You show your full capability just to fix their opinion. Big mistake. Now they know exactly what you can do. The advantage of surprise is gone. Why do we do this? Because being underestimated bruises the ego painfully. But a bruised ego is a small price for a hidden weapon. The man they underestimate moves freely. No one guards against a threat they can't see. Underestimation is camouflage. Wear it, let them relax. Then it's already too late. Here is what you do today. The next time you're underestimated, simply smile. Say nothing. Prove nothing. Let your future results do all the correcting. Every doubt they hold is a wall you can walk straight through later. Their shock at your success is sweeter than any argument you could win. Notice this. The people most desperate to be seen are the easiest to read. Their need to impress hands you the very map of how to handle them. Be the opposite. Let your depth stay quiet. Let your range stay hidden. A man with hidden range is a constant, quiet, unsettling question to everyone. Let them keep guessing. Every guess they get wrong is a gift to you. Drop this in the comments. Let them underestimate one last time. Lesson 6. Power is not constant action. Power is perfect timing. Here's the situation. You react to everything. Every slight, every message, every provocation. By responding to all of it, you spend your force on nothing that matters. Why? Because reacting feels powerful, but it is really being controlled remotely. Whoever provokes your reaction is the one actually holding the controls. The strong man chooses. He lets 100 small things pass untouched. Then, when the one thing that matters appears, he strikes with everything. Here is what you do today. List the things that pull your reaction. Then ask of each one, will this matter in a year? Usually no. Let the small ones go. Save your strike for what actually changes things. When you finally act after long stillness, the impact is unforgettable. People who saw you ignore so much suddenly realize how much you were holding. Restraint is not weakness. Restraint is power that refuses to be wasted. The reactive man burns out. The patient man arrives fresh at the decisive hour. Timing turns ordinary action into something that looks like destiny. Master your timing, and people will think you control more than you do. Wait like a predator. Strike like lightning. Then return to perfect stillness. Lesson 7. The man who needs the result least controls the result most. Here's the situation. You want something so badly it shows in everything you do. The job, the deal, the person. Your hunger is written all over your face. And the moment they see your hunger, the price of giving it rises. Why? Because desperation tells everyone you'll accept worse terms to avoid losing. The man who can walk away holds a power the desperate man never will. Here is what you do today. Build one real alternative for every big want. When you can genuinely walk away, your calm becomes completely real. And real calm cannot be faked or read. It simply unsettles the other side. Detachment is not caring. It is caring without being owned by the result. You pour everything into the effort, then release your grip on the outcome. This is how you stop being predictable through your wants and your fears. People predict you through what you crave and what you dread. Hide both. When they can't find your craving or your fear, they can't pull either lever. That is freedom. The freedom of a man who answers only to himself. The detached man walks through life like he already owns the ending. And strangely, that ending arrives more often for the man who didn't beg. Drop this in the comments. I am the destination, not the pursuit. Lesson 8. Before others can stop reading you, you must read yourself. Here's the situation. You have habits so automatic you no longer notice them. The phrases you repeat, the way you cave, the exact button that sets you off. Others have cataloged these. You haven't. That gap is where they beat you. Why does this matter? Because you cannot change a pattern you cannot see. Self-knowledge is the only intelligence advantage no enemy can take from you. Here is what you do today. Replay your last 3 conflicts in detail. Find the exact moment you became predictable. That's your leak to seal. Then deliberately rehearse a different response for the next time it appears. Treat yourself like a system to upgrade, not a personality to defend. Most men defend their flaws because admitting them feels like losing. It's the opposite. The man who audits himself ruthlessly becomes impossible for others to audit. You will know your tells before they do. You will fix them first. Do this monthly. You are a moving target that keeps redrawing its own map. By the time anyone studies you, the version they studied no longer exists. Self-mastery is the root. Every other lesson grows from this one. Know yourself completely, and no one will ever know you fully again. Lesson 9. Your no does not require a paragraph. It requires a period. Here's the situation. Someone asks for something, and you say no with 3 excuses. Each excuse is a crack. They press the crack until your no becomes yes. Why? Because an explained no invites negotiation. A reason is a door left open. Your need to justify comes from fearing they'll think you're unkind. But the man who explains every no trains the world to keep pushing. Here is what you do today. Practice a no with no reason attached. Say it. Then let the silence hold the line for you. Add nothing. The discomfort you feel is the old habit dying. Let it die. A clean no teaches people the exact shape of your boundaries instantly. They stop testing the man whose no is final the first time. This also makes you unpredictable in the most useful way possible. They no longer assume you'll fold. That assumption was their best weapon. Your yes will also mean more, because it stopped being automatic. A man whose yes and no both carry weight is a man taken seriously. You owe no one the reasons for your own decisions about your own life. Guard your no like a gate. What you protect is the whole kingdom behind it. Drop this in the comments. My no is a complete sentence. Lesson 10. The final shift. Stop being a constant. Become the variable. Here's the situation. People build their strategies assuming you'll stay the same. Their entire game depends on you being the fixed point they can count on. Why does becoming the variable break them? Because variables cannot be solved for in advance. When the foundation moves, every structure built on it has to be rebuilt. Here is what you do today. Take everything you learned and combine it deliberately. The mask, the silence, the timing, the hidden card. Use them as one. Vary your rhythm. Guard your face. Withhold your plans. Strike only when it matters. Soon, no single description of you stays true for long. You move past it. You become a presence people prepare for but can never fully predict. That is the highest form of power. Not feared for what you did, but respected for what you might do, that no one can foresee. The variable is never used as a tool. The variable bends the game itself. You started this video as a constant, a number they could plug in anywhere. You are leaving it as the one term they can never resolve. 10 lessons, one purpose, to make you impossible to predict and impossible to use. Now hold all of it, because what comes next will test whether you've changed. Feel it now. The man who started this video cannot survive what you've learned. The one who explained, who folded, who let them read every page. The old you is dead. Let the body cool. Do not mourn him. He kept you safe and small. Safe and small is no longer enough. What rises now is sharper, quicker, unreadable, unmovable, untouchable. Hear this clearly. You are a weapon, pointed at your own future, not at your enemies, at everything you were too predictable to claim. Every door that read you and dismissed you is about to be wrong. They built their plans on the old you. Watch those plans turn to smoke. From this moment, you owe no explanation, no performance, no apology for existing. You belong to no one, not the system, not the crowd, not the past. You belong only to the man you are deciding right now to become. The people who kept winning will feel the ground shift beneath them. They will look for the man they used to read. He will not be there. Only the variable remains. Unsolved, unstoppable, unpredictable. Finally, completely. Yours. You won't be told to subscribe. Telling is for men who need permission. If this rewired how you see yourself, you already know what to do. Subscribing is not a favor to me. It is a marker you plant for yourself. A line that says, this is where the predictable man ended, and I began. So decide, and answer this below. Who in your life was counting on you never reading this far?